Welcome to The Debate. Our focus today is the Bugatti Chiron, a machine that, well, it really represents the absolute maximum of what is technologically possible in a road-going vehicle. It's a stunning $4 million achievement. The source material details not just its, record-breaking statistics, but also the truly staggering financial and logistical burdens required for its upkeep.
Indeed, and that tension it's immediately compelling, isn't it? We are looking at a machine where the sheer cost of just keeping it running, the minimum annual ownership, is somewhere between $40,000 and $70,000, rivals the purchase price of most luxury cars.
Right, and that brings us to our central question. Is the Bugatti Chiron fundamentally defined by its superlative, record-breaking performance, or is it defined by the extreme, demanding infrastructure required to merely sustain that capability? I'll be arguing that the Chiron's identity is wholly rooted in its unmatched technical achievement and its absolute performance limits.
And I will present the alternative, that the vehicle's defining characteristic is the fragile, complex, and frankly, ruinously costly infrastructure needed for its ongoing existence. The upkeep is not ancillary, it's central to what this car is.
Look, the Chiron is the ultimate super sports car precisely because its entire existence is an exercise in pushing physical boundaries. The engineering priority is, it's clearly, performance. Consider the facts. We're talking 1,500 PS, which is roughly 1,480 horsepower, from this enormous 8.0-liter W16 engine fitted with a massive quad-turbo system. This was completely redesigned from its predecessor to achieve, a monumental 25% power boost? It just reset global speed standards.
And it certainly succeeded there, in terms of the raw numbers.
Yes, it absolutely did. Most notably, the Chiron Supersport became the first production car to breach that 300 mile/hour threshold, hitting 490 kilometers per hour. To manage this speed and power, the car requires structural mastery that, it just transcends typical road car engineering. The completely redeveloped carbon fiber monocoque achieves 50,000 Newton meters per degree of torsional rigidity.
That level of rigidity is extraordinary, I'll grant you that.
It is. It's a value comparable to a highly specialized LMP1 racing prototype. This isn't just a strong chassis. It's a structural weapon designed for continuous extreme duress. And even the complexity you're about to critique, the cooling system with its 10 radiators, that's purely the necessary solution to manage the 3,000 horsepower of heat generated by the 1,500 horsepower output. Performance dictates the design. That makes it the defining metric.
I think that term, ultimate super sports car, is actually the key problem here. That phrase is what forces this impossible infrastructure. I see why you emphasize the engineering achievement, but I would argue that the engineering is actually defined by its struggle against its own power. The astronomical price of keeping this machine alive defines it more profoundly than its theoretical top speed.
But every ultimate product requires ultimate resources. That's just the cost of entry.
Of course, but this is beyond ultimate. The Chiron, it devours money constantly. We're not talking about premium European sedan upkeep. We're discussing an infrastructure of perpetual maintenance. An annual service is $10,000 to $25,000. And when that major 4-year service hits, you are looking at up to $80,000.
Well, that just reflects the highly specialized skills required. You aren't taking it to a corner shop.
Exactly. And the fragility is reflected in the replacement costs of wear items. Those specialized tires, essential for hitting that 300 mile/hour claim, cost $8,000 each, or $30,000 for a set, and they have an extremely limited lifespan. Carbon ceramic brakes, highly advanced, run between $12,000 and $40,000 to replace. These aren't optional luxury upgrades. These are routine costs necessary to sustain the delicate balance required for operation. The requirement for hyper-maintenance is built in, not accidental.
But that high cost it's simply the funding mechanism for the most sophisticated zero-tolerance materials and systems available globally. We're talking about components where not a single millimeter can be flawed, which enables the statistical goal of safety and performance under impossible duress. Take the brakes you mentioned. They use special carbon ceramic discs and calipers milled using bionic principles with titanium pistons of varying diameters. This is complex racing technology deployed for safety.
I grant you the complexity is aimed at performance, but that complexity reveals fundamental operational limitations, particularly when systems intended to increase durability actually require intensive intervention. For example, we have specific documentation of a service campaign for the 1600 horsepower engine to replace the 4 turbocharger oil pipes, supposedly to increase durability. Now that tells me the tolerances, even at standard operating temperature, were razor thin from the start.
So you're suggesting a necessary durability upgrade actually proves fragility. Isn't that just good engineering proactively addressing tolerance creep in an extreme machine?
I reject the premise that complexity equates to robustness here. The sheer difficulty of this simple procedure, replacing 4 oil pipes, reveals a fundamental fragility built into the architecture. To perform this service, the procedure requires extreme disassembly. You have to remove side panels, the rear bumper, and critically split the entire chassis from the powertrain.
Wait, hold on. You have to split the entire chassis.
Yes, the whole engine assembly has to be carefully lifted out and installed on a specialized engine table, the VAS 6131, using a workshop crane. This isn't a simple lift, it's a massive controlled surgical maneuver. And the warranty information lists the labor time for this simple, ostensibly simple procedure as 65 hours. 65 hours to change a set of oil lines? That's less maintenance and more of an annual operation for a car.
That 65 hours reflects precision, not fragility. It demonstrates Bugatti's commitment to ensuring the job is done perfectly to maintain that performance integrity. The car is designed for dense power packaging, and that's what ensures the engine can achieve 1600 PS.
But the monumental effort required to replace a non-performance component, like an oil pipe, just confirms that maintainability was aggressively sacrificed for raw power. It illustrates that fragility is a central trait, hidden beneath layers of specialized methodology.
Okay, let's pivot on that point then. You focus on the inherent risk and the maintenance burden. But I see reliability achieved precisely through that intelligent, sophisticated infrastructure. The Chiron is described as the world's most intelligent production supersports car, with 50 controllers managing systems. More critically, it utilizes telemetry, and this is a system unique in production vehicles.
Telemetry, a critical distinction, yeah.
This system monitors about 10,000 signals round the clock, transmitting real-time data to Bugatti's flying doctors globally. This isn't just repair, this is proactive maintenance. It ensures safety and usability by detecting issues like, incorrect tire pressure remotely before the owner even knows a trip to the dealer is warranted. This network guarantees the functionality of the achievement. It guarantees usability.
I'm just not convinced by that line of reasoning because requiring constant, real-time remote diagnosis, comparable to monitoring a Formula One car from the pits, suggests the margin for error is razor thin. The comparison to F1 is critical because F1 teams use telemetry because the engine is designed for absolute performance over a single race weekend. If the Chiron needs constant pit wall monitoring, it suggests its operational window is just as thin, meaning it's inherently delicate, not robust.
The telemetry isn't because the car is failing. It's because the cost of a potential failure at 400 kilometers an hour is catastrophic. It is intelligent management of extreme forces.
But the system is explicitly designed to catch imminent failure before it occurs, because the operational tolerance is so small. If the vehicle were truly the pinnacle of robust engineering, why the necessity for a highly personal concierge service just to monitor its basic operating status? We're talking about 10,000 signals. That's the level of data you collect when a human is in critical care. It implies instability under normal conditions. The Chiron is a piece of kinetic art that requires a global high-alert technical support network simply to function safely, which just underscores its demanding nature.
I think you're misunderstanding the intent. The intent, according to Bugatti, is performance. We have to return to the true function established by its creators. Look at specialized models like the Chiron Pure Sport. It is explicitly designed as a driver's car. Some have even called it Bugatti by Lotus for its handling focus, shorter gearing, and reduced weight. It's intended for dynamic track use.
That is the stated intent, yes.
Bugatti's design motto is form follows performance. It's an authentic, technical product that provides an uncompromising combination of top speed, luxury, and comfort. The very existence of these track-focused variants confirms that its primary identity is rooted in driving dynamics and performance, not simply being a static sculpture. The complexity serves the speed and grip.
Okay, that's a compelling argument based on manufacturer intent. But I have to reject the idea that intent outweighs market reality. Have you considered the financial metrics that actually define its place in the world? The high transaction cost? We saw one model sell for $3.2 million, and the seller still refused the price because they believed it was worth more. And the astounding retention of value, with Chirons keeping 70 to 80% of their original value, push it firmly into the realm of financial asset, not a performance machine.
That just reflects demand for an excellent product.
It reflects an investment vehicle. When a car retains 80% of its value, owners are not encouraged to drive it hard or track it where they risk catastrophic depreciation through damage or high mileage. It's widely acknowledged that many owners treat them as garage queens or use them for conspicuous consumption in places like Monaco, where mileage is minimal.
That's a commentary on owner behavior, though, not the car's engineering identity.
But the market defines the object, as it might be the final gasoline Bugatti Hypercar ever built. The market perceives it as an appreciating, historical, collectible work of art. Its primary statement is financial and historical, a fate that overshadows its performance capabilities for cars that rarely see serious mileage, sometimes less than 1,000 miles over several years. For the vast majority of Chirons, the 65-hour service procedure and the real-time telemetry are far more relevant than the 300-mile-per-hour top speed. The infrastructure of its existence defines its identity far more than its performance potential.
To me, the Chiron's significance rests firmly on its absolute statistics, the speed record, the 1600 PSW16, and the revolutionary structural components, which fundamentally reset the benchmark for what a road car can achieve. The high complexity and cost are simply the necessary engineering price of pushing physical and boundary-breaking performance.
And I believe the Chiron is ultimately defined not by its performance peaks, but by the logistics of its valleys, the extreme costs, the 65-hour service procedures, and the reliance on real-time telemetry. These details underscore the immense, almost unreasonable logistical burden required to sustain its brief moments of potential performance. This infrastructure of maintenance, not the theoretical speed, is its true, costly, and defining characteristic.
So, what the Chiron ultimately forces us to consider is whether you can ever separate that record-breaking performance from the demanding, almost unreasonable complexity required to maintain it.
It certainly requires us to examine the hidden, immense price tag attached to achieving the seemingly impossible. There is clearly more to explore in the relationship between engineering aspiration and, well, physical financial reality.